Title: You bit me while I saved you. Because you looked hot. Vulpine. Rain splattered against the neon-lit streets of Selvara City, painting everything in streaks of red and gold. I ducked under a flickering holo sign, heart pounding. The alley was narrow, damp, and smelled faintly of oil and wet fur. Somewhere nearby, a scream pierced the storm, sharp and urgent. I ran toward it, instincts taking over. When I rounded the corner, I froze. A figure was backed against the wall, golden eyes glowing faintly in the shadows. It was Vulpine, part human, part fox, with a slender frame, russet fur slick from the rain, and a tail curling nervously behind them. Two goons in black trench coats closed in, smirking with knives. "Hey! Don't hurt them!" I shouted, raising my fists. Vulpine's ears twitched, and for a moment, they looked terrified. Then, with a sudden blur, they darted forward, almost colliding with me. My reflexes caught them just in time, pushing them behind me as a knife sliced the air where their head had been a second ago. "Whoa! Careful!" I gasped. "I can handle myself," Vulpine replied, brushing rain from their sharp, fox-like features. There was something wild in those golden eyes, something that didn't belong entirely to this world. The goons lunged again, and I had no choice. I grabbed a metal pipe from the ground and swung, the blade clanging harmlessly off. Vulpine's claws slashed at the nearest attacker, leaving a jagged gash across his coat. Their movements were fluid, dangerous, and alluring. Then it happened. In the chaos, I felt a sharp bite on my shoulder. I yelped, stumbling back, surprised. "You bit me!" I exclaimed, looking down at the crimson stain spreading across my jacket. Vulpine's head tilted, ears flicking nervously. "Because you looked hot." I blinked. "Wait, what?" "You saved me," they said with a mischievous grin. "And I, wanted to mark you or something." Their words were rushed, but the golden eyes sparkled with amusement. I shook my head, half in disbelief, half in pain. "You just bit me because I looked hot." "Yeah," they admitted, tail swishing. Not the most rational explanation, I know. The goons, momentarily stunned by our strange interaction, recovered quickly. I felt the bite sting but ignored it, focusing instead on the immediate danger. Vulpine leaped onto a fire escape, landing gracefully above the attackers. "Get on up," they called down. I followed, clutching my shoulder. Rain soaked us to the bone as we climbed higher, hearts pounding, adrenaline thrumming. Finally, we reached the rooftop, the city sprawling below us like a glittering ocean of light. Vulpine turned to me, panting, for sticking to their damp face. "You know," they said with a teasing lilt, "most humans run screaming when they see me. You didn't. That's cute." I rubbed my shoulder, wincing. "Cute. I nearly got stabbed because of you." "And I nearly got eaten because of you," Vulpine shot back, then laughed, a sharp, musical sound that cut through the storm. "So, I guess we're even." Evening rain drummed against the rooftop as we caught our breath. The bite throbbed, and I realized it wasn't just a superficial mark, it had broken the skin. My pulse raced, but not entirely from pain. There was something about Vulpine, about their raw, untamed presence, that made my head spin. "You're impossible," I muttered, but I couldn't stop staring. Vulpine's tail flicked playfully. "You think I'm impossible, huh? That's because you've never seen the real me." Their ears twitched in excitement. "Want to see it?" Before I could answer, they transformed. In a blink, their form shrank, fur spreading more fully across their body, hands and feet becoming more like paws, face elongating slightly into a sharper muzzle. Their golden eyes gleamed like molten metal. The storm reflected off their sleek, russet fur, making them look almost supernatural. Wow, I breathed, stepping back. Part of me was terrified. Part of me utterly captivated. "You're amazing." Vulpine cocked their head, smirking despite the rain. "Told you. But don't get any ideas, you still owe me a proper thank you, preferably something more than just words." I raised an eyebrow. "Oh really? And what would that be?" They shrugged, tilting their head mischievously. "I bite, you pay back. Fair trade." I groaned but couldn't suppress a laugh. "You're unbelievable." "Maybe," they said, hopping onto the edge of the rooftop and looking down at the city below. "But it's fun being unbelievable sometimes. Don't you think?" I leaned against the railing, watching the storm rage around us, Vulpine's fur glistening in the neon glow. Despite the danger, despite the bite, despite everything, there was a thrill that neither of us could deny. And somehow, I knew this was just the beginning. "Next time," I muttered, "try not biting me." "Next time," Vulpine said with a wink, "try not to look so hot when you save me." Thunder rolled in the distance as we laughed together. Two unlikely allies against a city that never slept. And for the first time in a long while, I didn't mind the storm, or the bite. Rain hammered the rooftop as Vulpine's golden eyes glimmered in the neon glow. I rubbed my shoulder where the bite throbbed, part pain, part adrenaline. They tilted their head, tail flicking with that impossible mix of mischief and charm. "You bit me," I muttered, incredulous. "Because I looked hot." Vulpine shrugged, ears twitching. "You saved me. Had to mark the occasion." I groaned, half exasperated, half captivated. "You're unbelievable." "Maybe," they said with a teasing smirk. "But isn't it more fun being impossible?" Before I could respond, Vulpine transformed. Their fur shimmered wet and russet under the neon lights, claws glinting, eyes molten gold. They were wild, untamed, and breathtaking. The storm whipped around them, but they stood calm, almost regal, like a creature out of a legend. I stepped back, heart racing. "You're amazing." "Thanks," they replied, tail curling. "But don't get any ideas. You still owe me a proper thank you. Preferably something more than words." I laughed, leaning against the railing, rain soaking us both. "Next time, try not biting me." Vulpine hopped to the edge, ears perked. "Next time, try not looking so hot when you save me." We stared at the city below, lights reflecting off wet streets, thunder rumbling in the distance. Despite the bite, the chaos, the storm, there was a thrill neither of us could deny. Two unlikely allies, drawn together by danger and daring, and maybe something more. The rain fell harder, the neon flickered, and for a fleeting moment, nothing else existed but the storm, the city, and the impossible creature standing beside me. Wild, untamed, and utterly captivating. And I knew, with a shiver of excitement, that this was only the beginning.